scarf that I was wearing the other day, and you wanted to know a bit how I put it on. So basically what I'm going to show you, this is, I actually got this in a charity shop. Which charity shop? I think it was down when I was visiting my daughter. It's a big one. It's a very, very big one. You could probably even use it as a one of those, whatever you call it, that go around your waist if you're on the beach. This one is very big, and it's cotton. Don't know if you can see. If I double it up, you might see it better. It's a cotton. And what I do is I take it, I put the points together. I put two opposite points together. So this point here and that point down there I bring together. So like that, right sides together. So you end up with a triangle. Like that. See the triangle? And then I take this point and I roll it up like that. Not tightly, just basically gently. You can make it as slack as you want. I roll it up till it's like a sausage, like that. And then I put it round my neck like that, so the points are at the back. And I bring one forward and bring the other one forward like that till they're both the same length. And then this one is going to go inside and outside, and I do that about 3 times. Inside, outside, inside, outside. And then this one is going to go up and out. Up and out. I have to think about this. Up and out. And a third one up and out. So I've got there, one's coming out the top and the other one's coming out the bottom. I could leave it like that and turn it round. I could just maybe do a little tie like that and then leave it like that. But what I like to do is I like to, if I can find where I put it, there it is, another charity buy. Bought this in Richmond, a little brass pin, and I thought it was lovely the way it was shiny. That's a bit of gold. Well, not real gold, it's brass. You can see the brass on the inside. It's a hammered one. And so this I could either put like that, I put it like that, so that holds it in place. Tuck that round a bit, and there, that's my scarf. The other way that I do it is by turning it this way and basically pushing these into the inside. Where am I? Oops. Oh, it's undone. Hang on a second. If I twist that round and basically tie a double tie like that, and then push that into the gap in there, and this one the other way so it's not being seen. Turn that round and do the same thing here. So I've got, it gives me a nice big bumpy thing there, a bit of a swollen sausage. And to stop it, I use my brooch to stop it from moving. And it also looks a bit better, but it stops it from going round your neck and going out of position. So, oops, now that hasn't picked up on my jumper, so let's pick it up on my jumper. Like that. There. And there you go. So that, it won't move, and that's given me my security that the scarf isn't going to wiggle round my neck and come forward. And this is one of the ones that I wear. Now next one I'll show you another one that I do. I have a box full of scarves, an absolute massive box full of scarves, and I like to try different things with them, and this is the first one. So watch next time because I'll show you another one. I received a message from Disco Fox 8 days ago, and she had been watching a video about some books, the sewing books that I had, and one of them was the Dressmaker's Dictionary by Ann Ladbury. And Disco Fox said, "It's a great video, thank you. Would you be able to do a flip through of the Ann Ladbury book in the way you did the latter book, or a top-down shot where you show it to us? Flipping through the book from front to back, not back to front. So in my vlog, I think I just quickly flicked through and said this is what it's like. So she said, I greatly appreciate that, and thanks for sharing, and happy sewing. So I thought I'd go through it. Ann Ladbury, for those of you who don't know, when I was a young girl learning to sew in my 30s, Ann Ladbury used to have a TV programme, and she showed you how to sew things. She showed you the complicated things, not just the easy things. She showed you how to set collars in, how to do cuffs, and all the complicated things that, as a new sewer, I always thought a young beginner sewer would probably really enjoy watching it. I think, and I may even have been earlier than my 30s. I think I was about 24, because my son had just been born and I used to watch it when he was having his afternoon sleep.
Welcome to another series about sewing and fashion. You're always telling me that you haven't got as much time as you once had to sew, and this is the idea behind this series, Weekend Wardrobe. We've got a wonderful collection of clothes for you, each one of which you can make during the weekend. If you're a beginner, you'll want to start with something fairly simple, but if you've got a lot of experience, there's even a coat for you coming later on in the series. We wanted to give you the chance to make a wardrobe of really elegant and versatile and glamorous clothes, and so we went to top London designer Caroline Charles. Caroline is, of course, very well known for her flattering cut and her use of sumptuous fabrics. Hello, and welcome to another programme in the series, and this one's all about fabrics. The clothes that Caroline Charles designed for us are so versatile they can be made up in a wide variety of fabrics. Let's have a look at just some of them. A striking patterned fabric can turn a simple outfit into something special. The 3/4 length jacket is made of flowered brocade, worn over plain trousers and camisole for an evening outfit. Stripes can be subtle and interesting, and here they're used vertically on the blouse and skirt, but horizontally around the collar and cuffs. This elegant dress is the skirt and camisole, but made in a brightly coloured printed wool. This is the same camisole and skirt, but in yellow flowered silk. The coat over it is in matching chiffon, and it makes an elegant outfit. Two patterned fabrics are used together here. The jacket is in red and white zigzag linen, worn over a white spotted voile blouse and teamed with a red and white spotted linen skirt.
She did some fantastic things, and I think I bought this years and years ago, and it was, does it tell us what year it was? This was in 1982. So this was 6 years. Yes, my son was born in 1974, 82. Yeah, about 8 years after he was born. But I'm sure I'd bought it. I'm sure I watched her before this. But this is the Dressmaker's Dictionary, and basically it goes through from A to Z with all the different things that that are to do with sewing. A, adjustable marker, adjustable zipper foot, A-line, alterations, anchor machine embroidery thread. So she goes through it all and explains all the different things. Shell gathers. Then she shows you how to do it. She tells you about applique, armhole. There's the armhole. And she goes around telling you how to measure your body, your back, how to get your measurements right. Arrowheads, and attached facings. Then she goes to backstitch, and basically what I think I'll do is I'll turn to music, because you all say you like the music, and what I'll do is I will slowly go through this book so you can see what it's all about. body rulers with little weights on them, so you can flex it round your body. I don't think you can get those now, but they were quite handy. I have a one, I don't know if I think I've actually thrown it away. It was a Draftsman one that was made of rubber with a wire in it, and you could curve it round. I don't know why I've thrown it away. If I did, oh no, it's there. This is rather like a body roller, and it has a little edge there, and basically I could put that round my armhole, and then if I put it round my arm, if I can turn this here, if I put that round my armhole, I can basically get an idea of what my arm is like. Let's get me a bit closer to this bit, like that. I can see roughly what shape my underarm is, and then I can pull that out, and that shows me the way my armhole is when I'm cutting a pattern. And you could use it for your legs. This is a short one. This is, as I say, it's a Draftsman's one. This, I'll turn it back here. This is a Draftsman one, and it's basically what draftspeople used to use for making curves, but I've always kept a hold of it. And then it's rubber, it's a very hard rubber, and inside is a piece of wire. I've always been a bit concerned that if I keep bending it backwards and forwards, eventually the wire will snap. But that's a handy little one that I used to use it a lot years ago when I was first sewing and making patterns, making my own patterns, but I don't use it as much now. Continuing on, showing you how to put your pattern onto a fabric where it's a pattern on the bottom edge, how you lay things out, how to make a bow tie, that's an interesting one, and how to add rickrack to things, going round and down and round an arm. Back to the music. This was something I did in tailoring. When you're making a jacket, I did a tailoring course with a gentleman who made suits for the men's suits, and when you laid your cut, when you went round with your collar, before you added your upper facing to the collar, you did this kind of tacking that goes over it to make the collar lie in the best position. That's usually done when you're making something in wool rather than any man-made fibre. You know, when it's in a natural wool fibre and it's heavy, you basically sew around that and it gets it to lie over in a curve. Setting collars. She was a very good, I think she's still around. She'll be an oldish lady by now. But this is another thing. You'd use these herringbone stitches on the Hessian lining when you're doing a suit jacket. Can you see there? You do these herringbone patterns all the way down, and that gives the curvature of the collar. It's really good. I enjoyed doing tailoring. Here's an interesting one, how to make a cord for one of those cords for your belt, a belt cord, a belt cord, isn't it? That's what you would call it. Cowl neck. I used to love cowl necks when I was younger. I still do. They hide your double chins and anything you don't want people to see. How to set your sleeves. It's just such a good book. It's got, you know, she illustrated it well, and as I say, she was very good in what she did. Now I can see the reason why I went the other way around, because I think I'm going to have to speed it up because you'll get fed up with this, but if I do this slowly. This is an interesting thing. embroidery stitches, and this tells you all the stitches that are there that you can get embroidery stitches for. I'm sure that these days there's a lot more have been invented. The one thing I've noticed with stitches, with knitting and with embroidery, is there's a lot more pattern styles that are around these days compared with what was around back in these days in the 1980s. But it's really for anyone who was a beginner, someone who wants to know how to do something. Ann's book was very, very good in explaining it and showing you how to do it. The different necks, how to tackle when your neck's not lying right. This is basically things that you would learn when you're doing fashion design, when you're learning how to fit things to people's bodies. And it's all something that, not all of us have perfect bodies. In fact, we all seem, just as they say your right side of your face doesn't match your left side, the same thing is, it's similar with your body. You don't always have the right side, the same fitting as everybody else, and you sometimes don't have one side being the same as the other. So that's another one. Adding little fabrics to the hems, a nice coloured bias just to make it look pretty. We're into hems, lots of ways of doing your hems. How to tackle your trousers. This was the fashion in our day, the bell-bottom trousers, and you wanted it to be higher at the front and lower at the back. Hook and eye. We don't do that anymore, hooks and eyes now. I've just missed these pages. What's this? Interfacing. Different kinds of interfacing and positions to use your interfacing. Some of these have been updated since. You can get all sorts of new interfacing that you couldn't get back in the day. But again, as I've said, there's that. Do you remember when I said what I've done with my skirt? I've added a piece on the bottom because I wanted it longer, and that's, basically she said you can join the fabric, don't worry about it. And what I tend to do is I don't finish the seam like that. I put it one way and I top stitch to make it even more, strengthened even more. Again, it takes you to embroidery stitches, lace appliques. We're into lace, and if I carry on, machine basting. It'd be interesting, I'll tell you. It tells you about from imperial sizes to metric sizes. What was that? That's a marabou. Feather trimming or fluffy synthetic silk substitutes are attached with thread to a central cord, and they tend to lie in one direction. The trimming is bought by the meter or in cut lengths. That's how to set a feather. You do a little buttonhole type of stitch across. That's interesting. And then you put the feather down there. You feed it down. Feather boa type thing. Lots of zip lengths, fabric widths. I think the most we used to have was 108 inches. I think now it's 150. So it just shows you how fabric widths have improved. One that I want to see, I'm interested in having a look at, I'll flick through the M's, is to see if it says any, McCall's body measurements. They may have changed now as well. Does she use all of them? Does she say, are they all McCall's, or most of them are the body measurements that are used by McCall's? I want to go to N, needles, because needles for machines. I was interested in this. She says keep a good supply of general purpose needles and a few specialist needles in all sizes. Only make a couple of outfits before you throw away the needle and insert another one. They blunt easily, especially on synthetic fibres. So I used to make a couple of outfits. I still do. I never change my needle as often as they tell you to. I tend to change my needle when I know that it's not sewing properly. The minute it doesn't sew properly, then I change the needle. I sometimes think that, I'm inclined to think that they tell you to change the needle so they can make more money out of you buying needles. But she has said make a couple of outfits before you throw them away. Darts. Pad stitch. We're into P's. I'm going to go a bit faster now. Pleats. pockets, how to fit pockets. There's some great videos on YouTube to explain how to fit pockets. The thing is that these days you get lots of videos that explain these sort of things as well, and sometimes seeing them in the flesh on a video is slightly better than what you see in a book. Reinforcing, how to reinforce openings, and we are fast getting to the end. Rouleau necks, satin stitch, scissors, and gathers. What does that go under? That S goes under. Let's see. Draw seams, gathered seams, leather seams, narrow seam, overlaid seam. So it goes through all the seams there, and then sorry, I'm jumping a bit. Seeding, selvage, separate, setting sleeves, how to set your sleeves, more stitches, and there's just so much here. It's just I haven't looked at this book for such a long time. It makes me realise just how good the book is, really, and I need to probably take it to put it on my bedside table and sit and read it. That's particularly that for me is a great memory, because when I did this tailoring, you have this hessian that goes down here. It's kind of reinforces the front of your jacket. You've got these herringbone stitches that cause the fabric to curve so that it forms the lapel, and then you've got this other padding here that you do these stitches to give it a bit more strength, and then you've got this tape that goes up there which just lies exactly on where the fold of the lapel goes. That is proper a proper inside of a tailored jacket. Tape measures, threading a needle, thread loops, tracing wheel, and what do we come to? A tulip dress, tucks, up to you, unpicking, and V, Van Dyke stitch, W, waistbands, how to set a waistband, how to add your waist to, how to add the bodice to the waist, to the bottom, top to the bottom, how to do a one like that where the gathered skirt is fitted at the front and gathered at the side. Oh no, it's gathered in the middle and it's straight on the sides. This is how she says she would lie the facing. Then adding some Petersham. We used to use Petersham, which is like it's got little bones, not bones, but it's like ridges, plastic ridges in it, and that used to stop. I used to love to use that because I always found that waistbands curled over when I made them, especially on trousers. So I used to add this Petersham to the inside, and it was rigid and it stopped them from bending over. And so it goes on the waistbands, elastic. And what's this? Waxing thread, woven, wrap over, and Y, yokes and yardstick, Z, zigzag stitch, zip fasteners. So there's some information about your zips, the kind of type of zips you would need. Again, as I say, the zips probably they're a bit dated, some of the information, and carrying on with zips until you come to the very end. And the last one is showing you how to do your fly on your trousers, the fly. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Coming from a line of family tailors, Ann Ladbury has many years of experience in teaching and helping dressmakers at all levels of skill. Her numerous television presentations, demonstrations and fashion shows in leading stores throughout the country and her previous books have made her a household name. She's also known for her straightforward and sympathetic teaching approach and her awareness of the problems faced by the amateur dressmaker and needlewoman. Her understanding of these problems and their solution is clearly evident in this book. I would totally agree with her. There was a couple that tried to copy her, but no one was as good as this lady. I felt in the UK no one was as good as Ann Ladbury. If you get the chance to find this book, it's a Batsford one. This is what it looks like without the cover. Just a navy blue one, a dark blue one by Batsford. The Dressmaker's Dictionary by Ann Ladbury. Definitely well worth having. Got my little label on there. All my books used to have this little label on, and I was very fond of poppies, so I like to have that. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that. I'm going to get this up tomorrow. It's Friday night. Been seeing Mummy this morning, all day today. She wasn't well last time we saw her last week. We actually thought she was on her death's door, but she's suddenly just back up again and really good. Her memory's still no good. She's not very good, but she recognised me and she recognised her son, so that was important. And she said, I love it when my daughter comes to see me. So I keep saying, yes, Mummy, I love to see you too. So I'm hoping to get this up. It's too late tonight. It is 8:30. It's flipping cold in here, which I'm pleased. One of the reasons why I wear scarves is because that keeps my neck warm. I always feel a warm neck makes a difference. My fingers are frozen, and so I won't be hanging around here for very long. I'll try and put this up tomorrow, and so I'm going to love you and leave you and catch you next time.